Alaikum. Guess what today is? Hold up. I think I got both of them there. Guess what today is? Today is day 30 of 30 days of life. Today is day 30 of 30 days of life. On December 1st, I came on and I told you guys that I would come live every day for 30 days. And I did it. Today is day 30 of 30 days of life. Today is day 30 of 30 days of life. Assalamu alaikum, and thank you for tuning in once again. So, if you don't know who I am, my name is Mubaraka Ibrahim, and it is very nice to meet you. Thank you for tuning into my live video on day 30 of 30 days of life. Let me see. Hey, Instagram, we are talking about, because I can't put a title on Instagram, we are going to talk about goals, and are you asking Allah or God for too much? That is what we are talking about today. So, if you are tuning in, give me a hey, hello, how you doing? Tell me where you are tuning in from, because I love the fact that social media makes the world a little teeny ball for us, and we can touch our tentacles everywhere. So, today is day 30 of 30 days of live videos on Facebook. If you have missed any of my lives over the last month, then you can go to the video section of this page and click it, and then it will give you all of the videos that are kept on that page. Today is a day where you're going to find out what's next. So I won't be live every day, but I will be live consistently, and I have some awesome programs coming up that I would love for you to join me in. So one of the things that people have been talking about a lot, myself included, is the fact that we are not just starting a new year, but we are starting a new decade. So that actually makes people a little bit more prone to want to set new goals, a little bit more excited about setting goals, not just for the year, but for the decade. And there's been a lot of reflecting going on over the last month or so. I've been seeing a lot of people that I follow, influencers and non-influencers and everyday people, however that's categorized. I don't know, however you want to categorize that. Reflecting over what they've accomplished over the last decade. I think for me, my number one accomplishment is I got all my kids out the house. Hey! No, I'm just joking. I love my kids, I'm just joking. But I am empty nesting. And I'm kind of happy about that. So if you don't know, I have 4 children. They are 19, 21, 23, and 25 years old. So, my big accomplishment in this decade is that I raised them enough for them to be fly the coop and go, little birdie. I actually just dropped my daughter off at the airport earlier today. I'm just trying to adjust my camera so that I can get Instagram in here. I just dropped my daughter off at the airport earlier today for her to go back to California, which is literally across the country. Mona says, no, I'm not. Well, I'm sort of kind of not joking. You're right. Empty nesting has been a really interesting journey. It takes an adjustment, and we're still adjusting, and we're changing stuff around. So we have done things that we would have probably never gotten away with when the kids were home. We took my 2-car garage and we converted it into a personal training studio for me. And the kids are already asking, oh, do you think you'll ever want to rent that out? And I'm like, no, it is my place of business. No. I do not want to rent. And I was telling my husband, I said, I could just imagine if we had done this 5 years ago or even 3 years ago, one of the kids would have probably finagled their way to try to figure out how to convince us to move into it instead of moving away from home. So we actually did that in good timing. And so as we continue to reclaim and reallocate different rooms in the house, if you've been following me for a minute, you know about 2 years ago, the first thing I did is I took one of the rooms in the house and I converted it into my lady lounge. So that was my own room. And so that was pretty significant. But things have changed dramatically for me in this last decade. But the biggest change I think has happened in the last 2 years. My husband retired from the police force. My last one went to college. I had kids to get married. I'm now going to be a queen mother in 2020. Some people refer to themselves as a grandma. I will be a queen mother. My daughter-in-law is expecting in May. So there are lots of things that I am looking forward to for 2020. Lots of changes. We took 2019 and we really used it as the ground for a lot of things that we plan on establishing in 2020, both financially, business-wise, all kind of things. Thank you very much for congratulating me. Mona, are you gonna be a grandma too? Is that what you're saying too? Hey, Queen Mother's in the house. Queen Mother. And so I took the term Queen Mother from Wakanda. I love the Wakanda movie, not just for the movie itself, but what it represents, what it established, all of the groundbreaking things that it did for Black people. So I really love that movie, but I just love the storyline itself, even if it wasn't written by someone Black, directed by someone Black, produced by someone Black, had it all almost a 99% Black cast. Even if there were more people of other nationalities in it, I just thought it was a great storyline. I love that movie. And in that movie, Angela Bassett's character is the mother of Black Panther, and she is Queen Mother. So I was like, how appropriate. I think I would be called the Queen Mother. So my son is acting like, no, the baby can't call you that. I'm like, I would just whisper to my grandbaby's ear, come to Queen Mother. I'm not paying him no attention. He just got to get with the program. So that is like the biggest thing I'm looking forward to in 2020. But I'm also looking forward to a few things that I'm looking forward to doing some touring with the book, right? You know that my book came out. So I'm going to be doing some touring with it. I haven't even had my book launch yet. I live in Connecticut where it is quite cold and the weather is temperamental. So I think I'm actually going to wait until the spring. And I don't know if that's traditional for book launches, parties to happen like 3 months after the book comes out. But that's what I'm probably going to do. The biggest one will be then. I'll do some other stuff online. This year, inshallah, I'm going to bring back the Fit Muslimah Summit. So if you have been in the tribe for, say, 5 years or more, you know that I used to host once a year an annual health and fitness summit exclusively for Muslim women called the Fit Muslimah Summit. I haven't done it in 3 years, I believe. And so look for that because that is going to be in August of 2020. My mother swear I love so much, like my own mother may give you a long life. I mean, alhamdulillah. So that is some of the things that we are looking forward to in 2020. So hopefully you will keep following on the schedule. So I want to invite you to a few things. So today we are I'm going to answer your questions. So let me know now if you have any questions that I can answer along the live. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is specifically about goal setting and aligning our Iman and our taqwa and our belief in Allah with our ability to set and achieve goals. So that's something that I'm really focused on and have been focused on a while, because I think that one of the mindset shifts that happen when you are going to achieve a goal, and it does not matter what that goal is, right? So I do coaching, I do health coaching, I do weight loss coaching, I do business coaching, I do some life coaching. So in a nutshell, I help people learn how to live healthier, happier lives so they can be more fulfilled and have a life that they love, but more importantly, live that life on purpose. And with all of the different types of goals that different clients have, there's one mindset shift that really has to happen right from the beginning, and that is being really specific about what you want. So often people will come to me and they'll say like, I want a successful business. What does that look like to you, right? You have to be quite specific. But one of the things that when I ask people to be specific, that I really try to get people away from is saying, oh, well, I would like this, but that's not realistic, right? When you think something isn't realistic, when you cannot imagine how you're going to achieve it, right? That is the goal that you need to set, right? So human potential is almost limitless. I say this when people come to me about, can I make my body look like such and such way? And I say, it's not about whether or not you can, it's about, are you willing to put in the work to get there? I don't care if you weigh 500 pounds and you want to weigh 150. You can do it if you're willing to put in the work. But you have to do two things. You have to have specific goals, you have to have a plan, and you have to have support. Those are three things that are really, really important. And as you go and you make your goals for 2020, make sure that you have those things. Know exactly what you're trying to achieve. Those goals should be measurable. You should be able to know what you want to achieve. And don't limit yourself, because when you limit yourself, you limit Allah. We say that Allah is Akbar, but when we don't feel like we can personally, I don't feel like I have the ability to actually do this thing, then we're saying that it's all our ability and Allah has nothing to do with it. When it comes to goal setting, what we have to remember is that Allah says that when his servant comes to him walking, he comes towards you running. When you go towards him running, he comes to you at the speed of light. So when you are making effort towards your goal, you don't have to see how you're going to get to the ultimate goal that you're trying to reach. All you have to do is take the step. There's a saying by Martin Luther King that says, you don't have to see the whole staircase to take the same step. It is the same concept. Many of the concepts, which I always find very fascinating, you know I'm always talking about the science of the Sunnah. What I always find very fascinating is oftentimes when there are really supposedly profound quotes by great people, right? When you look at the essence of the quote, if there is hikmah in it, if there is wisdom in it, we can find that it was already said in Islam. It was already indicated in Islam. It was already created. One of the things that I find really, really fascinating, this is just kind of like what's going on with me. What am I studying right now in terms of personal development is the concept of quantum physics. And in quantum physics, it's all about you don't change your reality until you change yourself. That is literally an ayat in the Quran. Allah does not change the condition of a person until they change what is within themselves, right? So this is really the concept of how Islam teaches us how do we take control of our lives? How do we change our own personal outcome? How do we ask Allah to shift the qadr? And it does happen. Allah actually rewrites the qadr for us based on our deeds and our actions, right? So it's interesting growing up Muslim, because oftentimes it's funny, because my husband and I was having a conversation with my daughter, taking her to the airport, and some of the difference between me and my husband is I was born and raised Muslim. My parents were Muslim. All of my family is Muslim. My brothers and sisters are Muslim. My husband is the only Muslim in his family. He converted to Islam about 3 years before I met him. And so we're often having these conversations that really look at kind of like the mindset of people who are born Muslim versus the mindset of people who convert to Islam. And it's really interesting from a person that was born and raised Muslim and have raised my children Muslim, and him looking at us from the eyes of someone who converted Muslims and who converted to Islam. And one of the things that he said today, he said that the difference between people that he has seen between many people who convert to Islam versus people who are born Muslim is people who are born Muslim take Islam for granted and they don't study. But people who are converts, and this was very interesting that he said people who are converts are always studying to learn more because they feel like they have to always be up on their game because they are challenged by people who are born Muslim. And I thought that was really, really fascinating. I'll have to have that conversation with him again a little bit later. But some truth lies in that, is that we cannot just assume that everything that we taught was exactly true. There's no problem with verifying what you've been taught. And I started on this train of thought because when I grew up, I was taught, and I went to like Sunday class, that there are certain things that are qadr and you can't change qadr. And one of those things are you're gonna die when it's written for you to die. But then as I began to study my Islam and began to dive deeper into the hadith, I found that this is not true. That we have the qadr of the day that we are going to die, but there is literally actions that you take that Allah will rewrite it for you and extend your life. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, if you wish for your life to be extended, then maintain family ties. So there's literally actions that we can take that Allah will take into consideration and erase and rewrite the qadr. So he wrote a blueprint of our lives, but it is not written in stone. You can actually do things. You can actually make dua. You can actually take action to determine your destiny. And that is the beautiful thing about Islam, is that it is not written in stone. This is such an important concept when you think about the mindset that you have to have when you are goal setting. The mindset that you have to have when you want to envision your life, when you want to change your life, when you want to go to the next level, right? There is no such thing as I can't. As long as it is not haram, there is no I can't, right? As long as you are staying within the guidelines of what Allah and His Messenger has made permissible, there is no such thing as I can't. There is no such thing as I can't be a millionaire. I can't lose 100 pounds. I can't get the job that I've always wanted. I can't travel the world. You can be and do whatever your heart desires if you put the right intentions, if you put the right actions with the prayer, right? So one of the second important concept, I think, particularly for Muslims in goal setting, is for us to understand that prayer is not just something that we say, an emotion that we go through, right? It's not just wishful thinking. We don't expect, you should not go into your dua expecting to be just the recipient of all of Allah barakah without you doing anything, without you taking any action. Our prayer is a physical action. So much so that the mandatory 5 salah a day, you have to take physical action. It is a physical action. 4 of the 5 pillars are physical action. Allah wants to see you taking that step towards Him so that He can run towards you. He didn't say just sit there and just hold your hands out. Right? That's only one part. The dua is only one part. The dua is the intentions behind the action. It does not stand alone. You have to make the dua, but you have to make the action. The greatest and the most profound and inspiring story is that of Maryam alayhi salam when she gave birth to Isa, to Jesus. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam, right? Allah says, shake the base of the palm tree so that the dates will fall down. She was a woman in labor. If you ever been in labor, you know that shaking the base of a tree, you don't have the strength. You have contractions going on. You got pain going on. She was in so much pain. She asked Allah to just take her life. That's how horrible the pain was. But Allah says, shake the base of the palm tree. And the scholars say the shaking of the tree for her, for Maryam alayhi salam, wasn't so that she could physically make the dates fall. That was what Allah wanted her to do, to show her making effort. And then He made the dates fall. So you should think of all of the things that you want to achieve as the dates falling from the tree. You have to make the effort, and then Allah will cause the dates to come to you. And when we think of our goals as Muslims, no matter what those goals may be, in that mindset, then anything is achievable. Anything is possible. Human potential is almost limitless. It is about how you take action. You can create your outcome. You can recreate what you thought was your future, what you thought was your goals. You can recreate yourself at any time, anywhere. Allah's earth is spacious. He has given us abundance of resources. And it's only about whether or not you have the mindset that truly aligns with your Iman, with your faith. We say that Allah is Akbar, but we say that's too much for me to ask. We say that Allah is Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim, but then we think, oh, I don't deserve that. When you counter that, you're literally just erasing and countering what you believe in Allah and believe Allah to be. We cannot limit Allah to our small thinking. You have to think bigger. In fact, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that Allah loves loftiness. He loves for us to set lofty goals. He loves for us to ask Him. Not just ask Him for forgiveness, but ask Him for barakah, ask Him for more. Allah loves that we ask Him, particularly that we go to Him. Right? There's a hadith that says that even if you ask Allah for everything that is between the heavens and the earth, it will not diminish His kingdom no more than a needle placed inside of the ocean. Can you imagine taking a needle, putting it in an ocean, bringing it out? It has a few droplets of water. What difference did you make to the ocean? That is the difference that we will make to what Allah has if we ask Him for everything between the heavens and the earth. And He gave each and every one of His creation everything between the heavens and the earth. We will still not diminish His kingdom. So what limits you for asking? What limits you for asking Him for $1 million? What limits you from asking him for the perfect husband, the perfect wife, right? What limits you from asking him for your ability, no matter what age you are, to be a hafiz of Quran or a muhadithin? What limits you? Only your own limitation of you not truly taking your iman to the level of believing that Allah is Akbar. That he is the greatest, and he can give, and he can give, and he will never be without giving us. If he gave us every single day, if he gave you $1 billion every single day, it would not diminish his kingdom. It will not change what he has decreed for this world. So it's so important that when we goal set, and when you're thinking about what you want to do for 2020, when you're thinking about what you want to do for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years, set your goals high. Don't be small about them, right? Set them high, because the other thing about setting your goals high, you're going to always be reaching towards them. Every day you're going to wake up, you're going to have something to do to get towards that goal, right? We begin with the end in mind. Stephen Covey said it, but Allah said it 1,500 years ago. Before that, we was told that. And again, some of the concepts, when you think about a concept, when you hear a quote by so-called influencers, so-called people of gurus and greatness, and you're like, that's really profound, that's really wise, it really applies to life, then you should say, where is this in Islam? And I guarantee you that if there's hikmah in it, we were already taught it. Our entire life, every single day, is beginning with the end in mind. The first thing that we do when we wake up is we pray Fajr. We are beginning with the akhirah in mind. When you go out the door and you put on hijab and you put on your clothes and you make sure that you're dressed properly, you are beginning with the end in mind. Akhirah, Jannah. We do this in everything that we do, but we fail to do it in the little things. Muslims seem to be really good at the big things, right? I want to go to heaven. I want to avoid hell. But if we could take those concepts and we can bring them down to a micro level, right? So if you have downloaded my productivity blueprint, that's one of the concepts that I talk about, right? Every day, you should be planning what by the end of your day. When you wake up in the morning, plan for the end of your day. One of the shifts that I've made this year is I wake up in the morning and I say, okay, what value can I give somebody before the end of the day? Beginning with the end in mind. What value can I give? If you're a stay-at-home mom, how can I help my kids feel more loved today? If you are married, how can I help my wife or my husband feel more appreciated today, right? Start off every day with a goal that you're going to reach by the end of the day. So micro ties, that's my Jesse Jackson word for the day. And if you logged in before, and if you heard me talk before, I told you that in our family, we have a rule. You can make up a word, but you just have to recognize that it's a made up word and you call it a Jesse Jackson word, because Jesse Jackson is notorious for making up words. That's a little side note. So, microtize what we already do as Muslims. Right? Bring it down to a micro level. Begin with the end in mind. If you have a goal to achieve by the end of 2020, every day you should be doing something to get to that goal. If you want to establish a business every day, even if it's no more than, I'm going to Google today how much it's going to cost for me to create the packaging for my product. Just a Google search. You've done something towards your goal, right? Even if for one day you say, you know what, today I can't do anything else. You know, the kids has 100 things to do. I don't have my meals planned, but for this day, I'm going to drink enough water, right? One thing that you've done towards your goal. You should never go an entire day and not have done one thing towards your goal. Write it down. That's another problem that prevents people from achieving their goals, is because it is left inside of our memory, right? And the memory falters and the memory tricks you. Write it down. This is the goal. These are the steps. So important that you do that. So that is what I wanted to talk to you today about, really how important it is for us to totally set audacious goals. I mean, goals that you cannot see. Right? I tell this to my son all the time. He wants to save the environment, but he gets disappointed when he sees all of the things in the news that the politicians are not doing, and he's like losing hope. And I tell him, it's not for you to lose hope. It is for you to work towards the goal, even if you cannot imagine how it's going to happen. Allah will make it happen. As long as you're working towards the goal, and it is our duty as Muslims to save the environment. Allah said that He made us Khalifatul Ard, the guardians of this earth. And so we should never stop being the guardians of the earth. The goal may seem unreachable right now, but you know that there's little steps. There's little steps. Keep taking those little steps, because when you take those steps with the intentions, and those intentions is based in goodness, and those intentions are based in that which Allah has encouraged and the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has encouraged, then Allah is going to run towards you, and He can create something out of nothing. We say this stuff a lot, right? I hear people talking a lot about this. Allah is Akbar. Allah can create something out of nothing. Allah can create, He can destroy, He can restore life. All of these things we say with our lips, but our actions, our mind, our dua, the way we set our goal is not matching the lip service that we're giving. You can't just give lip service. You have to wholeheartedly believe. If you wholeheartedly believe that Allah is Akbar, then you will not minimize Him to what you think is realistic. So don't minimize Allah. Allah has so much for you, and it's just waiting. He's just waiting for you to ask Him for it. Waiting for you to take the step. So inshallah, hopefully this will help you just a little bit in setting your goals for 2020. We have about 48 hours left. 48 hours left. Today was day 30 from my live. If you found any benefit from this, do me a favor and subscribe to my lives. I will be here once a week in 2020. Well, actually twice a week, because I have my radio show on Wednesday. And I have some really great stuff coming up. So make sure that you subscribe to the page. You share this page so someone else can get benefit. Or tag a friend, 2 or 3 underneath the video so that someone else can get benefit. And if you're thinking about the goals that you're setting, if you're thinking about changing your life, if you're thinking about redefining yourself, I want you to really think about how you are setting those goals, what audacity that you're having in those goal settings, and how are you honoring Allah being Akbar in setting your goals. All right? I will talk to you soon. Inshallah, I hope you have a great rest of your night. It's kind of late for my live, but I was really thinking that was on my heart today that I wanted to share with you. So I'll talk to you soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.